Dr. For Riel and welcome to the Wednesday News Moto. If you're new to the channel, here's how it goes. I'll fill you in on the news of the week while you watch a moto ride that has been provided by one of our collaborators in Cambodia. More on this week's ride in a moment though. For Riel is a monetised channel and we donate all of our earnings from the channel to charities in Cambodia. Here is the total we've donated so far, and there's more detail on this in the description of all of our videos. We've just received our August payment, so that amount will be higher next week. Wherever you're watching this from, thank you very much for being here. Please remember to like, subscribe and leave a comment. It really does help. The more people who watch, the more money we earn from YouTube, which we in turn can donate to charities. Today's video is from our friends over at YouTube channel Moto Life. They're Cambodian Americans on a journey back to their roots, sharing Cambodia through their lens. This is the great thing about YouTube, there's room for everyone here. Be sure to go and check them out, they're a great channel, and there's a link in the description of this video. Today is Wednesday the 24th of August, and in this episode we'll look at tourism numbers and a new border crossing with Thailand. We'll probe the ban of TikTok and adult entertainment in schools, and we'll check in on another massive drug bust, this time in Sihanoukville. We'll also have a look at the dog meat trade in Cambodia. First up though, the dates for Cambodia's 2023 public holidays have been released, and I've put them into a graphic that you can download. The link for this is also in the description. PDF or JPEG, the choice is yours. Cambodia will enjoy 21 public holidays next year, and just for comparison, in Queensland, Australia, there will be only 13. Let's see how Siem Reap's tourism prospects are shaping up for the rest of the year. At least 2.27 million tourists are expected to visit Siem Reap before 2022 ends. Last year, the total for the entire year was just over 500,000. The Ministry of Tourism has been working with government departments and the private sector to launch special tour packages that will attract tourists to the province. 548 of the total 1,187 tourism-related businesses in Siem Reap have resumed their operations. That's still under half of the number that were operating pre-pandemic, so there is a way to go yet. In the first 7 months of this year, Siem Reap had 1,242,854 visitors. 83,854 foreign tourists visited the Angkor Archaeological Park in the first 7 months of 2022, generating revenue of $3.37 million. That's an increase of 13.5 times for the same period last year. A total of 23,871 foreigners visited Angkor in July. For comparison, Angkor received 2.2 million international visitors in 2019, and that generated $99 million in revenue from ticket sales. In other tourism news, Cambodia and Thailand are considering putting the Stung Bot Ban Nong Ian border gate into trial use, aiming to facilitate trade and tourism. Thailand has been hanging back on this because they wanted construction on their side to be 100% complete before the gate opens. The Friendship Bridge was jointly inaugurated in 2019, and the border facilities have been under construction since then. The infrastructure for the border gates facilities includes border checkpoint buildings, dormitory buildings, transit terminals, warehouses, container yards, and administrative buildings. This border gate is just 9 kilometres south of the Poi Phet border, and it's hoped that it will alleviate congestion at Poi Phet once it's open. Coming from Thailand, you'd be onto Road 5 and on your way towards Siem Reap a little more quickly than if you went through Poi Phet, so we give this piece of news a for real thumbs up. From borders to schools now. Pupils who use smartphones to watch adult entertainment or play TikTok during school hours will be expelled from school, a top official at the Ministry of Education said on Monday. The ministry has also instructed all public schools to restrict the usage of smart devices inside the campus. Some female students have been seen shooting their dance moves in order to upload them to TikTok. Of course, this is sensible because filming dance moves can set you on a slippery slope. Proof of this is an 18-year-old man who was arrested in Phnom Penh this week for advertising his services as a hitman or killer for hire on Facebook. Cambodia's anti-drug police have arrested 5 foreign nationals for allegedly possessing and trafficking narcotics. A total of 871.2 kilograms of ketamine, as well as 2 boats, 1 car, and 2 motorcycles were seized during the raid. The suspects, all male, aged between 36 and 71, were apprehended in 3 separate locations after an investigation lasting more than 3 months. A notorious Phnom Penh backpack thief was caught by police after he attempted to steal a bag from an innocent foreigner. The thief is only 17 years old and tested positive for narcotics. In another incident, an elderly woman sustained injuries after two suspects snatched her bag and caused her to fall from her motorcycle. The incident took place on Saturday night in Sensok. The 50-year-old victim was riding her motorcycle when the incident happened. I don't really think we can call a 50-year-old woman elderly though, can we? Here's what happened. Two suspects rode their motorcycle next to the woman and smashed her bag, causing her to fall. The victim sustained injuries to her face and legs. The suspects were unable to get her bag on the first attempt and returned to try and retrieve it after she fell, but abandoned the second attempt when people came out to help the woman. Alright, we'd better talk about dog meat. Despite moves by authorities to clamp down on the dog meat trade and 90% of Cambodians saying it should be stopped, the trade still flourishes as shown by a bust last week. Authorities confiscated 700 kilos of dog meat. The meat was on a truck that was intercepted on its way to Kampong Thom province. Siem Reap province banned the dog meat trade a few years back, but it's still going on both in Siem Reap and elsewhere. In Phnom Penh, a young man has been sentenced to 10 months in prison in connection with an attempt to steal a villager's dog to sell for dog meat. The 18-year-old male construction worker was charged with theft under Article 356 of the Penal Code. During the arrest, the police confiscated a dog trap and a cane rod of about 3 metres in length. What do you know about this? Have you seen it in Cambodia? We didn't notice it in our time there, but when we lived in Vietnam, it was quite common depending on the time of the month. I think eating dog meat is associated with the lunar month in Vietnam, but I'm not sure if it's the same in Cambodia. Leave a comment if you know more about this. Alright, let's see what's happening on the roads of Cambodia. More than 2 million overloaded trucks have been impounded since the beginning of the year. 2 million, that is such a lot. The Overloaded Truck Inspection Committee of the Ministry of Public Works and Transport has impounded 2.07 million overloaded trucks in the first 7 months of 2022, and that is a 58% increase compared to over 1.3 million trucks in the same period last year. That is a lot of trucks. In more truck news, a man driving a truck caused destruction and panic after he took a turn into a concrete barrier and crashed into it. According to sources at the scene, before the incident, they saw a Hyundai dump truck travelling west to east. When the truck arrived at the scene of the accident, the driver attempted to overtake a car and ended up careening into a road barrier. The truck was damaged, but no one was injured in the crash. Now it's time for our new weather feature. A long and wet week is ahead for pretty much all of Cambodia. As you can see, Phnom Penh is definitely the warmest of the 3 locations, and Kampot and Siem Reap are enjoying a couple of days with sub-30 maximums. The temperature range throughout the days is very small at the moment, only a matter of 5 or 6 degrees in most cases between the minimum and the maximum. If it wasn't for the rain, it would be quite pleasant in Cambodia right now. We'd like to end this week with a couple of related stories, one of which is good news. First though, 2 young men in the remote province of Mundulkiri have been arrested for drug use. Police seized 0.06 grams of white powder suspected to be methamphetamine. It's highly likely that those men will end up in jail. Remember that 870 kilos of drugs were seized in Sihanoukville. This is 0.06 grams. So what to do with offenders such as these? Is a long jail sentence the best approach? Well, there may be another option in future. Cambodia will soon have an international standard drug treatment centre in Siem Reap province, thanks to the support of the governments of Switzerland and Italy. They have allocated $3.2 million to the project. Construction of the centre will begin early next year, and it will be the first in the kingdom to provide modern detoxification treatments to addicts. Once it's up and running, patients from all around the region will be able to seek treatment there. That brings us to the end of this week's news. You're now up to date with all of the most important events in the kingdom. Thank you for watching. Thank you also to Mokonut Life for providing today's ride. I'm sure you recognised many of the landmarks from the video. As always, links to the stories mentioned will be in the description. Take care, have a great week, and we'll see you soon.